Okay, roll the die.
8.
Your arrow slams into the center of the crystal and cracks it open. There's a flash of sparks, then the shimmering wall of light which imprisons Bainton flickers and disappears completely. You rush forward and try to revive Bainton, but he is deeply unconscious and does not respond. Taking hold of your friend by the arm, you lift him across your shoulders and then carefully begin your descent from the platform. Once you are safely at the bottom of the steps, you cast your eyes around the hall for a means of escape. There are only 2 exits visible, the light-filled doors by which you entered and a tunnel in the north wall. Do you wish to leave via the main doors or the north wall?
The wall.
Whatever.
Alright, Ram, it's up to you.
North wall.
Holding Bainton firmly in place across your shoulder, you climb the tiled steps towards the tunnel. The cold, dark passage looks most uninviting, but when you hear the sound of a patrol approaching the main doors, you forget your reticence and hurry along the passage to avoid it. The dingy passage descends by a slope and stairs to a rectangular hall which is lined with ancient stone statues, their features made unrecognizable by age. Tar-soaked torches fixed to the 2 longest walls illuminate this musty chamber with a flickering amber light, and the air is heavy with the oily stench. In the distance you see an archway and the passage continuing away into darkness. Do you wish to stop here for a minute and try to revive Bainton, or would you rather just continue on without trying to get him to wake up?
Continue on.
You might want to see if he's alright.
Warlord?
I agree with Given here.
You lower Bainton to the floor and make him as comfortable as you can by propping him in a sitting position with his back against one of the statues. Then, despite your own fatigue, you use your innate healing skills in an attempt to revive him to consciousness. His pulse is weak and his skin is cold to the touch, and you can tell by his poor physical condition that he has been starved and beaten during his imprisonment here in Kaag. Placing your hands upon his brow, you feel some of your body warmth draining away as you concentrate on transmitting your healing powers to your injured friend. Slowly he responds, and although he is still too weak to speak, he manages to open his eyes and communicate with you telepathically. "I know this chamber," he says. "I have been here before. Look there, at the statue opposite. You'll find a lever concealed at its side. It opens a hidden door." Guided by Bainton's messages, you discover that there is indeed a lever as he described. You pull it, and a panel in the stone wall glides open to reveal a secret alcove and flight of steps leading downwards. Noises in the tunnel warn you that the Karim are approaching, and so, without hesitation, you shoulder your friend once more and hurry into the alcove to avoid them. The panel glides shut behind you and keeps you hidden from the enemy. Through the wall you hear cries of surprise and some curses when they enter the chamber to discover that you have seemingly disappeared into thin air. Mindful that they might find your hiding place, you descend the stairs and arrive at a vault which is lavishly equipped with all manners of elaborate laboratory apparatus. Several large tables line one wall, many stained with blood. You sense that Bainton is disturbed by the sight of these tables, and when you ask him what is wrong, he tells you that this chamber is where the Naziranim subjected him to hours of brutal interrogation in a futile attempt to extract the magical secrets of the Brotherhood. "Despite all of their fiendish tortures," he says, his mind voice weak yet full of pride, "they learned nothing." You search for a way out of this vault and soon discover a steel door which is secured by a curious combination lock. It comprises 3 raised blocks, each block divided into 4 equal squares. In each square, bar one, there's a number. You ask Bainton if he knows how the lock operates, and he recalls once seeing a Naziranim tapping the empty square several times in order to make the door open. Consider the following grid of numbers. When you think you know what the missing number is, you tell me. Here's your riddle.
3, 5, 2, 6, 6, 10, 4, 12, 12, 20, 24. 8.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, 8. 8 fits.
8?
8 fits.
Yeah. All the numbers in the second set of boxes are double the number on the first set of on top of the numbers in the first set of boxes.
Oh, I looked at that.
And in the third set, you can see the three others are double of the three other numbers in the second box as well.
Yeah.
So you can see 3, 6, 12, 5, 10, 20, 6, 12, 24. So therefore it's 2, 4, 8.
I just went that you have to that you have to multiply the no, that's not the word.
So, do you go with 8?
Yeah, 8
Yes.
bits. No matter how you look at it.
Right. On the 8th tab, there's a loud click and the heavy steel door creaks slowly open. Ahead, you see a ramp which slopes down to a junction where a passage crosses from left to right. You descend the slope, taking care not to graze Spainton's back against the low ceiling, and when you reach the junction, you ask your friend which direction you should go. Unfortunately, your question goes unanswered. Bainton has lapsed once more into unconsciousness. You stand at the junction and use your Kai sense in an attempt to choose the safest route, but you detect nothing that can help or influence your decision. Both routes seem equally unwelcoming and perilous. Left or right?
Coin. Give me a moment. Left.
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 The passage runs into an uninterrupted straight line for several hundred yards before arriving at a great circular room constructed of granite blocks. Cold air falls from a dark opening overhead, and dozens of ropes and pulleys extend from this shaft, hanging down to touch the flagstone floor. A large square door, furnished with brass and iron studs, is situated to your left. Apart from the shaft, it appears to be the only exit from this chamber. Do you have a brass key?
No.
Do we?
Wait.
No.
No, we don't.
Let me see.
And it's supposed to be a backpack item.
Well, then we don't.
Yeah. So that would be a no. You examine the door more closely and soon discover it is locked, held secure by a common deadlock. Confidently, you call upon your Magna Chi skills of Nexus in an attempt to pick this lock, but to your dismay, you cannot cause the mechanism to disengage. A magical charm has been placed upon this door, making the lock pick-proof. Do you wish to use Magi magic?
Yes.
Yes.
You summon forth the power word of the Elder Magi and direct it at the keyhole. There's a crack like thunder and the door shudders violently under the weight of its impact. A cloud of metal shaving wafts from the keyhole, and when you place your boot to the door, you discover that the spell has worked. The lock is broken and the door swings open. Beyond the door waits a sumptuous chamber dominated by a magnificent fireplace, crafted from blocks of glassy rock. The walls are hung with fine tapestries, looted from the Stornlands during times of war, and you note that the furniture is carved from best Durney's oak. You pass through the chamber into an adjoining passage which leads to a library. As you enter, you disturb a robed creature seated at a lectern. Before I can rise or raise the alarm, you draw your weapon and silence it with a swift blow to the base of its skull. Pulling back its hood reveals it to be a Ligan, a thrall of the Naziranum sorcerers. Also, picture! So yeah, here's the room.
Holy shit.
Suddenly you hear movement and glance up to see another Ligan peering over the parapet of a gallery, which encircles the upper level of this library. The creature, having witnessed the slaying of its companion, lets out a horrified squeal and turns to run towards an archway on the far side of the gallery. Determined to prevent his escape, you lower Bainton to the floor, then rush towards a flight of wooden stairs that also lead to the archway. However, as you near the landing at the top of these stairs, two more of the creatures appear from either side with wands script in their clawed hands. They shout a spell word in the dark tongue, and a crackling curtain of energy flares between the two rods, blocking your path. The power wall looks formidable, but you sense at once that it's really quite weak. Do you wish to run straight through the magical barrier, or go back down to the Bainton?
Wait, we left Brandon behind?
Yeah, you wanted to run up and kill that creature who saw you, before I can raise the alarm.
Well, then let's get back to Brandon.
I agree.
Can we stop here, by the way?
There's really not much of the book left.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. The creature is still alive, so
Yeah, then we probably have to go through the barrier after that.
yeah, take care of it.
So,
We'll come back when right after we've killed it. So yeah, let's follow it.
so you run through the barrier.
Yeah.
You charge through the power wall and you sense real as your body earths the electric energy. Lose 3 endurance points. How much are your endurance on, by the way, now?
4.
Well, then
Oh,
you...
wait, you make some choices in this then, so... Runner!
24, right? Oh, yeah, much more than that actually.
Let me see. Plus, let me see. I think it would be... With this minus, we would be down to 8.
Okay. But despite the momentary pain, you quickly recover and dispatch the 2 wand-wielding Liganin before they, too, attempt to run from the library. The noise of their dying screams frees the escaping Ligan dead in his tracks. He spins around in the archway, his ugly face transfixed into a mask of sheer terror as he watches you come racing towards him with your weapon poised to strike. However, the sight is too much for his weak heart, which ceases to beat moments before you land your blow.
Wow, we scared him to death.
Yep. You return to collect Baindon. Then, once he is safely across your shoulder, you climb the stairs and hurry through the archway. A tunnel lined with rich wood paneling leads to a chamber where 8 smaller passages disappear off in all directions. You scan these exits and a familiar fear returns to haunt you. A fear that you will never find your way out of Kaag alive. Using your innate healing skills, you try once more to revive Baindon. You remember once, during a tutorial at the Kaag Monastery, that Baindon conjured up a vision of the monastery and its surrounding estate. You were able to see yourself in miniature standing in your chamber, as if you were a tiny animated doll in a doll's house. If he were able enough to perform the spell here in Kaag, you might be able to locate your position and plan a route of escape. Mustering your skills, you place your hand on Baden's chest and transmit your powers directly into his heart. You lose 3 endurance points. What's your life at now?
5.
Right, then you receive 20 endurance points because of your healing ability. Gradually, Bainton stirs to consciousness, and as his strength returns, rekindled by your healing power, he is able to grant you requests. On the floor of the chamber, he calls forth a living 3-dimensional vision of Kaag. Gradually, the vision expands until you are looking at yourselves, kneeling on the floor of a chamber on one of the upper levels of the central citadel. The vision blurs and fades, but not before you're able to trace the quickest way out of this dreadful place. The passage which heads due south from this chamber leads directly to the Slant Beast pens and landing platform situated on the exterior wall of the citadel, high above the great south gate. It is from here that you plan to escape, leaving the citadel by the same way you entered it, by air. Confident that the success of your quest is now within your grasp, you help Bainton to his feet and support him as you make your way along the south passage. With trepidation you follow the passage, praying all the while that Bainton's vision proves to be correct. Then at last your prayers are answered when, in the distance, you catch your first glimpse of the Slant Beast pens. You soon arrive at the entrance to the pens, where, from the safety of the shadows, you stop to observe the activity taking place inside. Lining the walls of the chamber, you count more than a dozen cages, each holding a Slant Beast or several smaller crone. Most are feeding, but there are some saddled ready for flight. One of these saddled Slant Beasts is perched nearby on the landing platform from where it casts its idle gaze upon the city far below. You are contemplating how long it will take you and Bainton to reach the platform and climb aboard the waiting Slant Beast, when suddenly you notice something strange that arouses your suspicion. There are no handlers or guards on duty in the pen. You draw your weapon and hold it in your right hand, while supporting your friend with your left. Then, with a nod of your head, you indicate the Slant Beast that is perched outside on the platform, and whisper to Bainton that it will soon be your transport out of Kaag. He nods his approval, and cautiously you take a first step into the pen. An unexpected sound makes you look up, and to your horror, you see a weighted net falling from the ceiling directly onto your head. Roll the die, Guinea, and add 3.
And what?
Add 3.
Okay. 9.